Hey everybody, we are back now with Sawneck and Solid Snake 16 to do Leon B, which is a pretty pog run actually. Um, no one wants to listen to me, so I'm going to pass it over to Snake, but I am going to put one thing in. Snake and Sawneck cannot talk at all when Ada and Leon are having their kiss scene. That music is
Oh man,
pog, so we're going to listen to
I had
that.
some jokes lined up for it and everything.
There's going to be nothing but silence and volume cranked
Sure,
up on that
just
one. So, so I'll pass it over to Snake. He'll introduce himself. So have fun, guys, and I'll speak to you in a bit.
cheers, man. Thank you.
Welcome, guys. We're back with some Resident Evil 2 Leon B. We've just seen a monster of a Leon A Zoolander run, so now we're going to see the other Leon scenario, which I'm looking forward to this run. Sawneck is a fantastic runner of this game. I can't wait to see some of the dodges he's going to pull off. Do you want to give yourself an
Yeah, man.
introduction, Sawneck?
Do appreciate the kind words. Yeah, my name is Sonic, and over the past 7 months or so, I've been learning the Resident Evil OG trilogy. Started off with Resi 2, then went back to Resi 1, Resi 3, but I think I found my place here on Biohazard 2. Going to be running Leon B. Big shout out to Nobody, by the way. That Zoolander run was brilliant, honestly. I'm just going to have to respond by just doing a run with no input, so we're just going to sit here at the menu now. But now we're going to be playing Leon B. Once we get past this intro. Which, obviously, you've seen one side of the story. You've seen when Leon gets to the police station first. Leon B is he gets to it second after Claire. A lot of it's kind of similar. A lot of the story beats are fairly similar as well. But you're going to find that there's a huge 7-foot tyrant in a trench coat that we're going to be dealing with, which is exclusive to the B scenario. So it's a really good run. And yeah, I think if everyone's ready, I'm gonna start and we'll get into the run. So timer starts now.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, should be an exciting run anyway. Starts on the opposite side, keeping in mind as well that this is after Claire has made it to the
I already
police
have
station.
a question for you.
Go for
You
it.
know that zombie that you wrapped, you know the one that's like got a yellow shirt but blood on it?
Oh yeah.
Were you just playing it safe there? Because when I run it, I sort of run around the back of him in the gap. Can you not do that? Does it save
I'm not,
time?
just for the marathon specifically. I'm I'm just keeping it as safe as possible. We'll probably end up with as many facets as we can kind of fit in our pockets here. So
I was hoping to give you some time save for your next PV attempt.
So, in a blaze of glory, the helicopter has crashed into the RPD, and I mean, that's something I was thinking about earlier. I'm pretty sure any helicopter pilot in this series always gets like the worst luck. Every single
it's
game.
not got good RNG, or they're just really bad pilots, and maybe they didn't even pass the test. They just turned up to the Raccoon Police Station. Yeah, I can fly a copter.
Yeah, I'll be I've done a bit of flying before. Don't worry. But yeah, we're going to be grabbing this valve here. The route is slightly different. The RPD segment is a hell of a lot shorter. RE4. I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind was Mike from Resi 4.
Mike, yeah, he's the only sort of one that we actually hear his name properly. Obviously, we know Brad is Brad, but
Mike. So we're going to put out this fire here, which, if I remember right, puts out for Claire. Oh, does she do it in Claire Ray? I can't remember. It's been way too long since I've played Claire Ray. But one thing we'll talk about is the zapping system in the game, which basically some of the actions you do as Claire will affect Leon in this scenario. A lot of it's quite like stuff we won't see because it is stuff you'd see in a casual run. But one example is coming up in a few minutes, and we'll get into it then. In this cutscene, Mr. X is getting his Uber into the RPD, and we're just going to be doing our first Mr. X dodge here, so see how this goes.
Just crack me up with that. Every pilot dies because Rebecca is the mechanic.
Oh, we did it.
Ooh,
Nice. Okay.
Oh.
Wasn't getting that one on the practice.
So what I'll say, obviously the big difference from the start of the game is you start pretty much at the RPD, really, don't you?
Yeah, you don't have to deal with Kendo or anything.
Through streets in A side, and also you don't get horrible RNG and the basketball court.
Oh man, that's the one thing I'm really happy with in this scenario. No basketball, no misty RNG, but a hell of a lot more liquors, as you can see there.
Well, yeah, that's the funny thing as well with Claire B. Obviously, there's Claire B and Leon B. Claire gets a lot of nice treatment in the early part here, whereas she doesn't actually get any liquors there. It's like a completely free hallway.
They've all gone on lunch break and have disappeared.
And Leon gets the treatment of, yeah, here's some liquors early doors.
Way too many in this scenario, honestly, and I think it's probably one of the harder bits. But we're going to be grabbing the shotgun here, which usually in a world record run you wouldn't really need to, but we're going to do it just to be safe.
No stars dodge then.
No stars dodge this time. I was going to do it, but I don't know, I feel like not feeling too confident about it, so we'll be grabbing the shotgun here and kind of blasting our way through the zombies. To be honest though, it's a pretty good strat. If you're looking to get into the run, I would recommend sticking with it. One of the last things I'll really need to optimise in this run. No YOLO dodge, exactly. I'm not that brave, sadly. Hey, maybe next time. But
so the dodge we're all talking about is what a lot of people consider one of the hardest dodges, especially in the original series.
Oh, 100%.
So what we've just seen there, the zombies busting through, that is another thing. As you've seen, the shutters were down, that is controlled by Claire A, where we actually put the shutters down ourselves. I think you can do it on. You can't get two wires, is that right? So you either do it on
it's
one
just
or
the
the
one,
other.
isn't it?
But whatever we do, as long as we put one down, only set is it right? Well, only one set of zombies comes out. Whereas if you don't put any down, two come out. Is that right?
I believe so. So, like, it's just an example of kind of how your actions on the Claire A scenario can affect Leon in the second one. Unfortunately, there's not... I mean, I think there's a couple more things we can point out. I think the biggest thing is picking up the SMG and the little fanny pack, but we don't have to do that on this scenario. I mean, for this run even.
That way we can keep in touch if something comes up.
So, we're going to be running it. Grab the shotgun. And hopefully we do it. Oh, and one more too, why not?
Ooh.
Not too happy with that zombie as well. Him ripping in half there.
Was close.
But I mean, again, it is a little bit slow, but I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, if we speed up the rest of the run, we can come back and clean this up on a PB run. So here we're going to be pushing, and you'll find a lot of the stuff is quite similar to Leon A, but with a slight difference. Ooh, that was close. I wasn't expecting to get that, to be honest. Sometimes you can push it a little too... Just, I think it's 9 pushes, I think. But because we're not coming back up here, I know in the Leon A run you usually do this in kind of 2 different sections. But again, we're not coming back up here. In fact, we're almost done with the RPD already, just to kind of give you the idea of how short this section is in the B scenario. And I'm actually glad that we saw Leon A before, because you can kind of see the comparison between the two.
Yeah, so obviously in the A side, we come up this side, whereas we're going down this time, and sort of going at it from the opposite angle.
Exactly.
And because of what we've done with Claire, there's no zombies in that room.
Yeah, and there's none in here either.
Yeah, there's none in there. So that really helps, because that can be really horrible and put you onto caution like straight away. And he's not picked up any health yet, I don't believe, so it's not what we want.
It's one of the only runs I can think of, unless anyone can correct me, like where you almost have to do stuff on another playthrough first. As Claire, like with the cable and stuff. Otherwise, if you don't use the cable here, there's a load of zombies in here, like Snake just said. But we're going to go be...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of the big differences I'm going to say between Claire B and Leon B is you go downstairs on Claire B, whereas a lot as Leon, you go, like we've just seen, he goes upstairs.
Yeah, exactly, and they almost pass each other. Well, they do pass each other, and it's quite interesting. It really kind of makes it feel like you're not alone in a sense. Like, the actions you've done have an effect. So with that being done anyway, with that little strat, we're on our way to the basement already.
optimised performance so far for the first part. Really good. Obviously, apart from the not Yoda in the Styles dodge, but do blame you for not trying to do that on the road.
It's definitely something I'm going to learn at some stage. In fact, I've already tried. I can kind of do it, just not consistently.
That was pretty good.
So
I thought you were going to get bitten, and you seemed to slide under his shoulder.
Yeah, you, with with that zombie in particular, you can quite like slide through him, there, mate. And as you guys saw earlier, it's going to be Ada again. Not the first time he's going to get shot in this scenario. Okay, with most scenarios as well. Oh, okay. I mean, I figured. But to be honest, I just grabbed the save off of speedrun.com, which is already in setup. But yeah, much like we saw earlier in this dark, dreary car park, Leon falls in love here.
And what are you doing here?
Got a few cutscenes coming up. It's going to be the same. Pretty much until we get back to the RPD, there are going to be a couple of changes. But yeah, if there are any donos in at the moment, I think this will be a good time to kind of go for them.
Nothing as of yet, guys, so I'm going to put it in chat. You know what to do. It's for a good cause.
Absolutely, it's for a
If you
brilliant
can
cause,
spare
guys.
whatever you can, it's much appreciated, honestly. We're at £506
Ooh.
and we're... Where the hell are we? We're halfway through the event, I would say, because we've still got tomorrow, we've still got the rest of today, so... you know, I'm not stupid. I did this event at the end and start of the month because I know that's when everyone gets paid. So if you got it, chuck it.
The 400 IQ plays, I like that. So, for the second time today, we're going to be meeting poor Ben, who earlier ripped in half in front of our very eyes in that Zoolander run. And somehow, he's just been sewn back together, he's here.
Let me guess. You must be Ben, right?
So the sewer section on A and B is pretty similar, if not identical.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the only big difference with the sewer is because in the Claire Ray run, they've killed the crocodile with the gas
So I'm
canister.
in the prison. I don't know why I said sewer.
Oh.
You know what I meant.
No, it's my bad. We'll get there eventually. We'll get to the sewers, but for the
I don't know why I
meantime
said
now.
sewer. I think it's because you go down that ladder in a minute.
Yeah, and you go into like
It's
the water
sewery.
and stuff. But I mean, I think for the most part, the run is fairly similar. I think the biggest changes are in both Mr. X shoving up everywhere, and of course, I would maybe say it's almost like an arranged mode. There's brand new
Maps is a bit
locations.
different as well.
Yeah, and we do come across some original locations. But I think it's a really good run. I think the B scenarios are really underrated. I think the go-to is always the A scenario because that's what we all played as kids. I know I played Leon A back-to-back about 1,000,000 times over the course of my life, but I would
Leon B's
recommend.
always been my favourite. Like, casually,
Honestly.
for certain. I've not really speedrun it that much, but casually, Leon B was always my favourite. I used to play that, like, all day, every day. Well, no,
I always used to think Claire B was the hardest one, but no, yeah, Claire B is a cakewalk. It's so nice and chill. No lack of Sherry RNG. And then with this, I'd say this is probably the hardest scenario in the game. But very rewarding. There's so many really cool set dodges that you have to do, as you've seen so far.
When we were talking about the worst enemies from games earlier, we didn't mention how Sherry is the worst in Resident Evil 2. We said it was Lickers.
No, I'm going to have to go with Sherry. I think all of the Birkins are villains, and Sherry included. Not bad. We're doing some quick menu in here, which is an exclusive thing to Resi 2. It's not in Resi 1, it's not in Resi 3. And pretty much if we press certain buttons in a certain combination, we can get to each inventory slot. And it's super satisfying to get done.
So, I think it's really good.
So we're not putting in the plugs because we don't have any yet. We're going to be playing as Ada here. There will be a slight difference. Instead of the 2 dogs running around, we're going to have a few zombies here. But the puzzle and getting the club key stays the same. And then once we get back to the RPD,
It's a dead end.
that's when we start hitting the point where the game kind of changes a little bit.
You think we can get upstairs
So,
through this shaft?
to compare, right now I think Claire is just about to grab the C4 and blow up the the door that's blocked by the helicopter, where we saw the two lickers much earlier on.
Yeah, 'cause I think she tells you that soon, doesn't she?
Yeah, because there's an
She's
item
got
in
a
there
radio.
for us. Here we've got the Demon Child Sherry. We've got a Claire Ray run in this event as well, so that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Lovely
Yeah,
bit
we're
of Sherry
shooting a
RNG.
lot, so have we got a player B as well? We need all four there.
I don't think we do, but
Honestly.
I think Claire Ray will be more than enough.
I find for me, and I don't know what anyone else. I'm not really a RE2 OG speedrunner as much as I used to be, but I think Claire A is one of the hardest ones for me personally.
Yeah, I definitely agree. At least even from like a speedrunning standpoint, because of the Sherry RNG, like the amount, and I think they'll go over it tomorrow when the Claire Ray run happens. But it's 2.5, I believe. There's so many things that can go wrong with Sherry.
Thank you for the raid, Pointy.
Ooh, a nice little raid there.
Raiders,
Welcome on
to
in.
some Leon B.
So we're not going to push those all the way in because, as you see here, it almost pulls the boxes in. So we don't have to push it all the way in. So we're going to grab the club key here. The big difference between Leon A and Leon B being this this lovely looking medallion that she's wearing here.
Oh, it's not a bite we wanted to take, is it?
No, I knew full well to go around the right side, but for some reason, it's because of the angle, it almost looks like he's closer than he is further away.
Leon, can you hear me?
But that's okay.
Ada.
Doesn't really matter too much, because regardless of Ada's health, when we switch over to Leon, he has his own health.
I think that's one of the most like anxiety things is.
Hey, I can't reach the ventilation hole. I'm going to have to find
I
another
think,
way around.
especially with like the whole of Resident Evil, is what position is this zombie getting in, and what position is he going to be in? Because one of them, especially, I think Tom might be able to shed some light on this one. But whenever I've ran like remake HD, you know the zombie in like the hallway after the Hunter hallway.
I think so. You talking about
Where
the
he's
murder
shot-
hallway?
It's like the murder hallway. No, it's like Richard's hallway, basically. There's the
Oh.
zombie next to the double doors, and I'm never sure whether he's like next to the double doors or the other side. It's just like when a typical thing of Resident Evil is like, oh, what position is this zombie gonna be?
Oh, 100%. And the pre-rendered backgrounds certainly don't help with the positioning, but for some reason this is just... I think I've got it down. It's only taken about 20-something years, but... So we're going to run in here. We've got some doggos. We literally just run straight forward. We're heading back with the club key in hand, back to the RPD. Probably one of the most difficult parts of the run, at least for me. Plenty of lickers coming up as well. But yeah, let's see how this goes. So we're going to get bitten by him. Probably could have used a shotgun to kill him, but I'm just going to keep running. Oh, my bad. It's okay. First one's free, I'll take it. Gonna go here into the lovely blue corridor.
Just explain the difference in strats from A and B side on this bit.
So the zombies are in a slightly different position. I guess it's because Claire's already been through here and has killed some of them, and it's why there's none here. I guess it's not a case of Claire or the player killing them. I think they're just not here, or maybe they've gone on a break.
Yeah, like you say, maybe they've gone outside to have a smoke.
Gone for a quick smoke, but the liquor's going to break this window again. Unfortunately, we messed up that dodge, but it's okay. We're going to run in here into this very safe and quiet room. There's nothing at all that's going to happen in this section. Much like before, we're just going to do this little puzzle. God, I would hate to work at the RPD. The amount of puzzles you need to get things working.
Just break the puzzle and be like, oh, I can't do it, I'm going home.
I'm going home, I'm not doing this.
Get the technician in, get him to fix it, I'll be back tomorrow.
Honestly, like, you know, you need this key card, you need to push these statues around, yeah, no bathrooms, exactly.
I always found it, because I used to always find that dodge incredibly hard. And then once someone told me, you just run down the side of him, I was like, wow.
Yeah, as long as you free turn right, you can just run straight past him. But we're going to be heading out upstairs here to one of my least favourite parts of the game.
So your PB on this is 54 minutes, is that right?
Yeah, exactly 54 minutes, and that's with a couple of pickups as well. There's quite a bit of time save in there.
So what is your next goal on this game?
Probably to get top 15 would be my hope. Maybe.
What do you need to get top 15?
Bear with me. Just going to bait this liquor. There we go. So, I can't remember the time. I'm usually pretty bad with times, but we're going to send this liquor. We've baited him into slicing us, and for some reason, he knows what he's done. He's busted a window, so he's going to go hide in the corner and think about what he's done. And we're going to go to where Claire has met the lovely and very creepy Chief Irons. But thankfully, he's nowhere to be seen here. And I think it's what makes the zapping system of Resi 2 so interesting, even as a game that was released in '98. It really makes the world feel quite lived in, if that makes sense. The fact that like the actions of Claire, i.e. you, the player, can affect this.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only game that's not like a zapping system, but where like events you do control a game in Resident Evil. The only thing I can think of is like Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, with I guess with
like
the RNG and whatnot.
what's it, the quick time events where you have the multiple choice. That's the only thing I can think of in a Resident Evil sort of scenario that certain actions control.
Oh, that was good.
That was really good.
Happy that went well. Top is 53, so we've got to save like 25 seconds here, I think, in order to. So we're going to swap these around. There.
What is your main time save, would you say?
Probably shotgun strat. There's a weird herb pickup that I do at some stage as well. I'm going to try and do something here. Perfect, there we go.
Nice.
Probably not the
Very well
fastest dodge, but I'm not about to take a free hit from that liquor, sorry. It's just not happening. So,
than a long dodge than getting hit, though, right?
yeah, exactly. But we're going to be doing this puzzle, which usually you would do quite early. But in the B scenario, it is one of the last things you do before leaving the police station.
Yeah, so we've seen nobody do that quite early, like we've seen, and now we're seeing how Sornek does it a lot later.
I think what's quite funny about this is the fact that these are just normal bookshelves, and I couldn't imagine just some police officer coming up to the library, maybe looking for a forensics report or something, and he accidentally activates the puzzle. Oh man, I do love some classic. My PB at the moment is 54 minutes exactly.
Just had a £5 donation from Worms, who says, Sornek, good luck, my dude. Well done on all your achievements. Mr. X wants to give you back your wallet that you left on the sidewalk.
Oh, what a legend. Thank you so much for that, man. And yeah, man, Mr. X chases us around. Not because he's after the G virus, but because he's misunderstood it. You know, Leon dropped his wallet in the car accident at the beginning of the game, and Mr. X is just trying to give it back to him. And that's the real canon.
Sounds like an upstanding citizen.
Exactly. I mean, he's really misunderstood. And now, unfortunately for Ben here, aside from him, he's going to get a good little pipe in here from Birkin. Not the greatest of days for him. He's about to die twice in less than 2 hours.
Well, you know, cats have 9 lives. Ben has 2.
I mean, I can't help but just remember his death in Remake where he gets his head squished.
Oh, yeah.
But this is definitely less... it's anticlimactic in comparison to him, like, ripping in half here. but it is because the first.
Does he rip it in half in B-side? I thought he just.
No, he just flops over because he got in the A scenario. He gets infected by Birkin, and because obviously the embryo doesn't mesh well with him, it rejects it, so he explodes.
Yeah, in this, isn't he just hit with like that same pipe?
Yeah, which he then picks up in a minute, and I think he punches him or he pipes him, one of the two.
Yeah.
But no, my chest, it's burning.
Of course, he picks up the pipe in that room, doesn't he? So it wouldn't have been the pipe.
I think he just punches him in the head. But here is the mail to the chief, which, you know, Ben's life work here.
Mighty punch if he's been punched and then there's blood literally covered all over his shirt.
I mean, maybe he just made a bit of a mess, you know, like. But yeah, pretty much the exact same here. There's a radio call here, which I don't think happens in the A scenario.
They're still crawling with zombies.
It'll be all right. Trust me. We found a way to the sewer. Follow us later.
But yeah, Leon's trailing behind at the moment. Claire and Sherry are making it to the sewers at the moment.
So, my next question for you, and I'm sure a lot of people might be interested in this, what got you into speedrunning Resident Evil? What was there someone you watched that inspired you to do it? What was it?
Definitely a lot of the runners in the... I mean, it's hard to really pin it down on just a handful of runners. Over the years, I've watched so many different speedrunners for so many different Resident Evil games, and on top of that, I mean, I've been playing Resident Evil practically my whole life, and it's... I mean, the whole idea of speedrunning these games, it's built in, you know, with the ranking system and the score screen at the end. It's egging you on to do as well as you can here. And I think that's the big part as to what made me want to run it faster. And then seeing the leaderboards and the community egging each other on as well. Bear with me, we're just going to be fighting G1. There's going to be 6 quick shots here. Let's see if we can do it. Oh. There we go. We dropped the first one, but we got him in the end there.
Nice, well done. That was good. Clean fight.
So with quick shooting, definitely a big thing in all 3 of the original Resident Evil games. Basically, lets us, well, fire quicker, but more specifically, it kind of, as long as you're mashing the aim key while holding down the fire key, you can skip the second part of the recoil animation. Now, with the Magnum, there's a little bit of recoil, you know, he is holding the Desert Eagle after all, and it allows us to shoot faster, and you can do it for pretty much all guns, I think, but it's definitely the easiest in this game. I think with Resi 3...
So is the strat holding, say spacebar as your shoot button, holding that and then, like, say X is your aim, just mashing X as you're holding it?
Yeah, so you want to bring the gun up initially, take the first shot, and then mash the aim key afterwards. Takes a little bit of practice, but it's just one of those things that once you get comfortable with, and I mean, years of playing MGS1's interrogation scene and the millions of QTEs in Resi 4 have prepped me for this today. So we're done with the RPD, G1's dead, and now we're going to the sewers. Again, poor Leon, going to take another bullet for Ada for the 2nd time today. Been a bit of a rough day for him.
That woman was... I have to talk to her.
As nobody said in his run, we're going to unequip the handgun in just a second here because it does save time. It skips a length, I think he said it was 4 seconds, which I actually didn't know. But 4 seconds... At the end of this upcoming cutscene, we're going to be chasing this mysterious woman in a lab coat who was Annette Birkin, the wife of the creature we just fought.
Is there like an optimal place to unequip the handgun, or does it not really matter?
I don't think it matters too much because there's not really any menus or anything, so I just do it as after I turn. I'll do it. But this is just pretty much the exact same cutscene we've seen before. Ton of exposition. But basically, to those who aren't aware, William Birkin was a top researcher in the Umbrella Lab. And after hearing about his poor buddy Wesker dying, he starts talking to the US government about potentially selling him the G-Virus as long as him and his family are safe. Now Umbrella hear about it, they send some USS soldiers in. which is Hunk and all the fellas in the gas masks, which we're not going to see here, but Resi fans will know. And obviously they put a stop to that. An interesting thing as well, we've got a Resi 3 race coming up later. Where the military was sent to rescue Birkin, they were given the wrong information and they end up at the dead factory, which is why if you pay close attention at the end of Resi 3, you see all the dead bodies in the cannon. That's the military setting up to try and rescue Birkin, but little do they know they're on the other side of the city. A little bit of a lore dump for you.
Knowledge is power.
I think, you know, as much as we all dog on these games and its voice acting, its story's amazing. Even in the first one, a lot of the notes and the lore that you read just...
So we're going to see like an all files % speedrun from you soon?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with absolutely.
So, because we've picked up Sherry's little pendant, and it's a little bit paranoid about that, and for the second time today in the last 2 hours, and it's getting sent for a swim. And this is where we find out.
It gets worse later on.
For some reason, I guess slapping a net was what you needed to open it up and reveal that there's a G-virus sample in there. Which is practically Ada's mission complete. She was sent into the city to get a hold of the G-virus sample, but obviously we're not supposed to know that just yet. So, for some reason, she kind of just waits here. In the original scenario, as you saw in the previous run, the crocodile attacks her. But yeah. Again, this plays pretty much the exact same as the sewers in the last scenario that we saw today. I mean, the only difference is we don't have to fight the crocodile, because Claire was kind enough to blow up the crocodile.
Yeah, so I didn't know this until recently, but you can actually shoot the crocodile without shooting that thing, and then someone says he bursts through the wall, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, so he'll burst through the wall once, and then he comes back in the B scenario, I believe. Which is so...
I've not seen that scene at all.
I mean, it took me, like, I think I saw it years later, I think. But it's just odd, because I feel like they make the canister so obvious that what other ways would there be?
Yeah. I suppose on a knife-only run, that's where it was figured out. That would be my guess.
Oh, definitely. I think this is the big part for knife-only runners, is this particular boss battle, but again, thankfully we don't have to deal with it. Claire was kind enough to dispose of the giant croc. So we're approaching a cutscene here. Same again. Now, usually you would, well, you'll always get a health boost here, but because we're at full HP right now, not much of a difference. I do have to say, I do feel bad for Leon. He's got a fresh bullet wound that's gone through his shoulder, and he's like shoulder deep in dirty sewage water. So, probably not feeling his best at the moment.
Probably infected.
Oh, 100%. Dude's got a whole lot more to worry about than zombies.
Don't know how he runs so fast in that deeper water.
I love the dialogue they had to Resi 2 and 3's remake when they all go in the sewers.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool.
So Ada's still trying to hide her cover, so you know she's revealed that her boyfriend John has died. Leon right now is in the best of moods. He's so happy to hear that. Oh, just gonna...
Right, who is it, Claire, that says, now I'm going to smell like the S word, literally, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and then Jill says something about burning her clothes afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I won't talk about the... I mean, I love the 2 remake. It's brilliant, but... Too bad they never remade the 3rd one, right, guys? Had to get the cheeky little jab in there, but yeah, we're getting
that little bit there is one of the frustrating things with Claire, because if you're too fast, Sherry will just sit down.
100%.
So, that fight is a lot better to play.
And you guys will see that in the run, that like you almost have to stop and start quite often as Claire. And I think this has been happening all day. Let's see if this happens. Oh, I missed her today. Okay.
I set a personal goal to let Ada get poisoned.
Oh, 100%. she's only like maybe 10 or so minutes away from breaking our boy Leon's heart, and that's not okay. But with that,
I wonder if she can die in this section. Can she even die?
See, I want to test this out because I mean, if she gets hit by the poison or if she gets bitten by the zombies coming up, she will go into caution. She'll grab her side. But
you can't heal her, can you? So
no.
It makes you think that. I don't know.
Maybe though. I mean, I feel like it's got to be almost impossible to have her killed. You would have to go out of your way to have her injured by these enemies. But Claire and Sherry have gone ahead on the cable car. We're now calling it back. What you'll find is we're kind of picking up the pieces after them. So we have to call this over, and then in a few minutes we'll be calling the train up. But this boss battle is pretty much, it's the exact same as the one we saw in Nobody's Zoolander run. So was everything all good on the audio front? I just saw Mr. Half-Baked in the chat asking what we're hearing. Bonus voice. The bonus voice DLC for Flynn Stock. Had me bugging out there. I was like, hold on, have I done something wrong?
Yeah,
so,
what?
So looking around at all of my little OBS things, but we've got a dodge coming up here. Let's see if we can get this today. Nice. We're going to leave Ada behind because that's all good, honestly. And yeah, this is where we'll start to see some changes in the scenario here because Claire and Sherry have already gone down into the lab. They've already fought Birkin. So we got to call the train back up. And doing so, we got to go to an extra room here.
Because we don't know who to blame, we'll just blame Half-Baked Snake, okay?
Yeah, I think I think we'll do that.
It actually was me, but it was the Facebook stream had crashed, so I was re-uploading the Facebook stream and it was playing the stream from this morning over again.
Oh.
And I was like, you know.
Those Facebook gaming delays.
My coffee pot was beeping at me as well, which didn't help, so I was running across the kitchen to get that off the stove.
Oh, I was trying to get this dodge. I mean, usually I take the hit anyway, but I've been trying to get this little dodge down over the past couple of days. You'd walk towards his right, and then when he swings his left hand, you run around the other side of him.
Hey, at least he wasn't watching naughty stuff, that's all I'm saying.
Too true. My menuing's a bit weird today, but it's fine. It's okay. That's for later. So we're going to be having our G3 fight. Again, to kind of give context. After Claire defeats Birkin on the train, he disappears somewhere, and we're now about to fight the second stage of that. You've seen the Zoolander variant of the G3 fight, but this is the fight's slightly different. I think he mutates a bit more.
Yeah, so it's a bit like in A side we fight G2, whereas this skips G2, but we actually get an extra boss on this because we do. Is it an extra 2? So we do G1, G3, G4, G5, and Mr. X on it.
I don't think we do G. No, we definitely don't do G4. I'm mixing them up now. G4 is the dog form, isn't it?
Yeah. So we skip G2 and G4. Is that right?
Yeah, and then we end up fighting G5 instead. But we've got G3 here to fight, which I'm going to deal with real quick. So we get these 5 quick shots. Oh, this happened last time. It's alright though. Oh.
That was mean.
That was real mean of him. Not the greatest of fights. Accidentally got caught on him here, but that's the general gist of it anyway.
So is it 5, 3, and 2 then?
Yeah, that's kind of how I try to remember it. Just 5 shots, 3, reload. I try not to run too far away from him, because when you do so in this fight, he will jump on top of the train.
Yeah, he jumps on the roof, doesn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
Jumps to whatever position you're in.
Hey, take it
But it's a
easy.
slightly different strat to what
Inside
we're
Umbrella's
used to in the A
I'll
scenario.
find something to treat that wound, so
It's just
rest
we
here
did
and
get the
eat.
hit there, unfortunately, but it's fine. We've got a
Can you slow
fast
it down,
burn and a hole in our back
please?
pocket.
Go. Save yourself.
Is it just me, or does everybody always ignore what I say?
I love that line.
My job is
That additional line. It's
You'll
just,
be in danger if you stay with me.
I feel like it's a question he doesn't want to hear the answer to.
Period of time.
why does no one listen to me, man? This poor Ada's sitting there. She's just been slashed. She's hurt.
Capable of
And he's like,
caring.
man, why does no one listen to me, man? This is ridiculous.
I don't
He does get quite the big promotion though, doesn't he, in the series where he starts as this rookie cop on the first day of his job and then ends up working for the US government. It's like a big promotion.
Oh, 100%. Although the means of how I'm pretty sure in the law he was basically forced to. Like they basically, I think in the epilogue in Resident Evil 3, they're like, look, you're going to work for us now. You've got no choice. So this is where it differs from the A route. We get to see some brand new rooms here in the laboratory. Really helps kind of give you the idea that this lab is massive.
Yeah.
Ada's ditched us now, so we're kind of left to our own devices. This is one of the, we've got...
I always found the colours in this room, like it just felt very, I don't know, it was very different to what we were used to seeing in the lab, and then
Yeah, it's
goes
very,
all irony coloured.
It's very almost warm, I guess, very warm colours compared to like the very cold metallic greys of the lab.
Yeah, it sort of looks more like a blast furnace.
Oh, I messed that one up.
Because, well, especially this section.
Ooh, that's not good.
That was really good.
Looking like we're going to be rocking on caution for a little bit. Oh, it's okay though, it's fine. There's a couple of pickups we can get. Alright guys, listen.
Try not to die.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a herb in a second, which usually we wouldn't do. But we're going to play it safe. I mean, usually what I like to do is get both of those to lunge, but I think I messed up the timing on it. But it's okay.
Right, you get a PB.
Exactly. To be honest, there's an additional herb. I mean, again, this is going to waste time, but... It's fine.
Phonic was 40 try and get in the box there, that's why he started running into it.
Oh, I never ever go into that corner, so you can see where the movement's a bit odd. But yeah, now we're going to head back down to the normal lab. That's a damn shame, because to be honest with you, everything was going really well up until that point. So we'll reload here. If you aim here, Leon will be in front of the panel instead of in the middle, and it ends up saving a little bit of time.
That's one of the differences that they did with this compared to the remake is obviously in this you have the darker skinned lickers, don't you? Whereas in the remake they're just fully...
Yeah, they're
colour the
always
whole
like...
way.
You got the super lickers, I think they're called. That's what I
Yeah.
call them anyway.
Are they generally like more powerful, or is it just they've changed the colour?
No, they're a lot stronger, and I think they do more damage, but I could be wrong there. And they love ending runs as well.
Oh yeah, yes, they do. Especially the ones downstairs.
Oh god, man, we got a certain area coming up which I'm not looking forward to. Here we get the plug.
See, this mechanism seems like the most pointless thing ever. Surely it saves you time just to pick it up yourself.
Just put it in there. I guess Capcom, they wanted to show that amazing 3D tech. Which is another thing I absolutely love about these pre-renders. These pre-render backgrounds, like, they really give you this idea that it is a full 3D background at no extra cost, pretty much. Something I do miss. I don't really know if we need them anymore. But we'd love to see a return in pre-renders, pre-render
Yeah.
backgrounds.
It'd be pretty cool to see it in this day and age, wouldn't it?
So we got my favourite part of the entire run coming up here.
Or as they would say in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, the digital age.
The digital age. Nice, okay. That makes up for that disastrous little room we had earlier. And, yeah, pretty much this plays almost identical, except for instead of picking up the key card, we're grabbing I think they call it the master key.
Another thing I found very iconic, I'd say, in the remake is because you go through the lab and you're like ending the lab section and you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to. The monitor room's not in this game, and it's actually like right near the end rather than where it is on here.
I am also going to grab this first aid spray, which we did at the FTLG run, and we ended up. Well, you know, I'm not going to say anything. We're just going to take the first aid spray. We're just going to take the first aid spray and get on with it.
Yeah, just move on.
Didn't see nothing. But yeah, man, honestly, I really enjoyed this run. I really think that, I mean, if there's any Resi 2 runners in here that have only dabbled in the A scenarios, just give it a go, honestly. Oh, I didn't do that right. It's okay, though.
So about to ask, did you do a way to sort of manip the liquors?
That's what I was trying to do. Alright, listen, guys. They're not behaving today, are they?
Have the towel.
It's fine, though. That is why we grabbed the second one. Ooh. Let's not do that. Don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I know what you did. You do what I do sometimes, where your automatic thought is just, oh, I'm out through the door, run
Yeah,
forward.
you forget that room exists because it's such a small transition room. Like,
in so many rooms where I'm just like, oh, I'm through the door, right, run forward. Oh, I ran into a zombie.
oops. Thankfully, it's just the IVs, and we've got some naked zombies here. And if you didn't know, the naked zombies do a hell of a lot more damage for some reason.
Because they haven't got the t-shirt weighing them down.
It's true. They've got their full potential. So we've got the final. Well, actually, so at this point of the run, we're meeting Annette again. We're about to find out the shocking news that Ada is a spy and she's working for an enemy organisation of Umbrella.
This is my husband's legacy.
Now, for the casual player, this is several hours into their playthrough. They've had a lot of time to spend with Ada to really think about it as well. But for us, it's only been about 20 minutes, which makes this cutscene just so much funnier.
Anything, do you? You're so gullible.
Is there any donations to benefit?
Oh yeah, this would be a good time to
And why she came here is to obtain the G-Virus.
make sure we get those donos in, guys. It's for a really good cause. And yeah, man, let's hit the goals, hit the targets. Absolutely loved the incentive on your run yesterday, Snake, dressing up as Liquid. Loved it, dude. Over big shades, exactly.
Ada wouldn't do something like that.
I've only known Ada for 5 minutes.
You're about to die anyway.
Mr. X is going to drop in one last time here. Oh, he's going to get us trapped here. Oh, it's okay, it's fine.
I think Flynn heard us, so I've just seen one from Venusaur who says, Sonic legend. Hopefully Kendo doesn't take Leon's girl in this version. Ada, and that is $10.
Thank you so much, Venusaur, an absolute legend. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, that dodge didn't go too well, but it's whatever. We've got the famous box glitch coming up here. Ada! I'm not gonna do it.
I didn't want to scream anyone's head off, and I don't want to undersell it when we're going to get the, like, good Ada.
There we go, we did it.
Moment.
At FTLG, we messed this glitch up, but we did it perfectly this time. So we run up behind it with the right amount of pushes, and you almost push it forward a little bit. We've got some absolute legends in the chat right now. And guys, we've got Josh and Venusaur. We're going to see an amazing race from these guys. But later on today, we're going to be seeing Resi 3. It's going to be a hell of a time, honestly. Anyway, at the request of Flynn, I'm going to shut my mouth here and let this cutscene play.
Run!
Ada! Ada!
Leon, please, escape.
No. We're a team. I can't just leave you behind.
I'm just a woman who fell in love with you. Nothing more.
I'm not crying. Flynn's crying.
Ada. No.
He's only known her for a grand total of about 20-something minutes, but you know what, man?
The self-destruct sequence has been activated.
Honestly, though, a really good scene, honestly.
This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency
Like it's a washing machine on fast spin. Oh, man.
Honestly, the one thing that really grinds my gears about this cutscene, though, is the fact that she shoots her empty gun an extra 3 times and then goes, you know what, he's right in front of me, I'm gonna now reload.
Her quick shooting was on point, though. I gotta give credit where it's due. Not even I can do quick shooting like that.
She's not the, what should we say, smartest kid on the block.
And I mean, just to reply to G Mary's reply that X is going to give it to you. X gave it to her. But yeah, that's set off the self-destruct sequence, and now Claire's tasking us with the grand duty of picking up Sherry, which I'd rather not, but we got to because we can't be causing time paradoxes today.
Sense to take care of. I'm counting on you.
Hello? Claire, are you there? Claire!
Guys, please keep donating to this wonderful cause. You've done an amazing job so far with all your donations. Just keep them coming in.
Absolutely. Again, it's for such a good cause, and so far the event has been absolutely brilliant. I've really had an absolute blast just watching all of these runs. We're halfway through. We've got another day full of amazing runs as well. But let's go pick up Sherry, shall we? I'd rather not, but you know. If we do have any other donos as well, this would be a good time to read them because we're just jumping into a cutscene where we pick up Sherry, so nothing important.
Sherry? I've come to get you out of here. Claire is
I think
waiting
there's
for you.
anything else. I'll just refresh the donation link.
Claire, are you there? It would have been funny if we could get him in his alternative outfit where he's got the little the baseball cap and the tank top. So if you look at this little panel here at the bottom, it says 3 men gorilla starts. Have fun never unseeing that. No idea why it says that.
Oh yeah.
Have fun never unseeing that again.
Oh dear.
So at this moment in time, Claire's making her way to make the vaccination for Sherry, and she's about to fight G4. So we're gonna go set the train up. Can never unsee it either. It's such an odd thing, but I guess, like, you know, when this was made and released on the PlayStation, you were never gonna see that text.
Just rest
But
here for now. Claire should be back soon.
so all aboard the Umbrella Express. We're gonna grab a key down here.
We have another donation just come in. and it says Anon, but when I read this comment now, you're gonna know who it is. So £10, which says Sornek, you mad shagger ya.
Yeah, mad shagger ya. Like so much. Oh man, but
I'll leave it
honestly,
up to the chat to guess who that is.
to decipher who that may be.
5 minutes until detonation.
So it wouldn't be a Resident Evil game without a countdown and a self-destruct sequence, so 5 minutes on the clock here. We're going to be on our way to our second to final boss, which will be Super Tyrant. A mystery that will forever be unknown. Gonna grab both of these plugs. Be gone, Walter, be gone from me.
I've been asked
Yeah, I did just see this.
to say, can you say to Sornek, Golden God?
You know what?
I think you should explain this to Flynn so he knows why.
So let me
I
do
hope
this.
That doesn't mean you like golden showers or something like that. and
No.
I mean, I'll discuss that later, but. So we're gonna do 3 shots here. Might take a hit.
So what is the story behind Golden God?
So it's a sound command I've got on my stream from the TV show It's Always Sunny. Well, Super Tyrant winds up here to ruin our day here. Alright, Mr. X, we get it. I didn't want to. I could have shot early, but I was terrified. Sometimes what will happen is you'll shoot the rocket and it'll go straight through him, and that's GG. There's no way you can do it then. But anyway, yeah, the Golden God thing. It comes from a show called Always Sunny, and there's a clip where one of the characters goes absolutely mental. He calls himself the Golden God, and it's one of my sound clips, and it's a bit of an inside joke in my chat. I got a PB once on Resi 3.
Free credits,
Yep.
right?
On one of my first proper PBs of Resi 3, my chat realised there's no cooldown on it, so they just, when there's that beautiful track playing, all you could hear is that sound clip. But yeah, man, I guess you'll have to stop by at some point and spam me with it to hear it in its full glory. But it's a really good show. I would recommend that to anyone. It's so funny.
So is he like a bit like when Wesker claims he's a god and his right is now his?
Yeah, pretty much exactly the same thing. Yeah, there's a scene where he's trying to sell a car to somebody, and I don't think I've got the time to explain the scene because we're coming up to what should be the end boss here. But if you just search Always Sunny Golden God scene, I mean, I think you'll find it funny even if you don't have any context to the show.
It's one of those series I wish I had, I really had watched, because I've watched quite a few episodes and I've been in hysterics, but I've never just sat down and watched the series.
Oh, honestly, I would. I think it's all on Netflix. I think. Yeah, no, it's definitely still on Netflix.
I love the boat episode and the petrol one. That was good.
Oh, the boat one.
When they're just like, well, the
implication
because of the implication.
Well, oh, so you're actually saying they're in danger. So Birkin has finally transformed into something I'm going to keep family friendly and let you guys fill in the blanks here. But he's become a massive mess of tentacles and eyeballs, because when you have the G virus, you never stop mutating. So where he was once a pipe-wielding tyrant-looking thing, he's now this. So we've got
now like a blob of mush.
a vaginal blob. It's like a mix of that, the Predator's face, the worms out of fucking Tremors.
whipping my quick shots here, but as he bleeds,
yay!
that should be it. GG. Why is he not dying yet?
There
we go.
I
got a little worried there. I know it ends when he bleeds, but I was still a little concerned because sometimes it'll happen straight away. Yeah, I think the first half of that run was brilliant. Second half was a little low. It was okay, but at the end of the day, got it done, and it was for a great cause, and I think that's the big thing here.
You've
Didn't
done
have to be
phenomenal.
close.
That is brilliant. So we've got it's a vagina with teeth, and we've also got it. Here comes Birkin.
Oh
the
my god,
prolapse
crayons!
anus.
Oh, crayons always killed me. And we'll have time in 3, 2, 1, go. That sends GG's. And that's the end of the run. 50 seconds over
Stop
the
laughing
PB
at
here. Or 46. I think that was mostly just getting trapped in a corner by the final Mr. X dodge. The final time was the best.
46 seconds off your PB on a marathon is GG's, man. Well done.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I'm pretty happy with
Fantastic
it.
run.
Thanks so much.
Flynn, I'm sorry I read out your donations earlier when you weren't here. Have you got any more you want to shout out?
Dude, it was absolutely fine because I was having a bit of a meltdown here because stuff started crashing in the background. I was like, why is everything failing?
Is there any more you want to shout out before we?
Well,
sort of end?
I want you guys to shout out yourselves, your Discords, if you've got anything else planned coming up. Old Brad is there. The guy deserves to be a walking prick.
Especially, yeah, after what he did to our poor Alpha team.
Can't bloody land a helicopter.
To shout out Discord.
Well, you know, it's if you don't want to put your links into the chat, by all means, that's absolutely fine.
Well, I guess the biggest shout out goes obviously to Flynn as well for letting me showcase this brilliant run. Snake for joining me on the commentary again. Did a great job here. And of course, a shout out to everybody in the chat today, as well as the brilliant donations. Guys, keep those donations coming. A lot of hype, an incredible cause. And Flynn, you've put on one hell of an event. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching the whole thing. I will be here for the rest of it. I will be in the chat lurking or otherwise. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. If you like what you see, feel free to jump into my stream at any point. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be working on a guide for Leon B, a fairly safe guide for getting into the speedrun, because I don't think there's enough of them. I don't think Leon B gets enough love.
I totally agree with you on that one, dude. I think Leon B is a fantastic run, and I thoroughly enjoyed learning that one. It was.
You're
Well,
going to be putting that on YouTube, sort of.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, by all means, put your YouTube in there. That's all good.
Yeah, can do. I'll
just done it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'll be doing that in a couple of weeks, and I'm saying that now so I get my backside in gear and get working on it. Now the pressure's on. Now I've got to do it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I do appreciate it. It was a really good run, and yeah, that should be everything from me. Snake, is there anything you want to say?
No, just GG's again. Brilliant run. Thanks all for all the donations.
Absolutely.
Thanks Flynn for having us again. Had me like in the space of 12 hours twice, so he must get bored of my voice by now.
Oh God, no, mate! I need friends. I need people to talk to. I'm joking. But we are going to bounce out of here, folks, and we have got the OG, Mr. Moonrooms, who was like I met in my first month of streaming. Absolute hero. We are going to be following him around a creepy asylum and lots of naked people while he's got a camera, which is a little bit weird, but